let me start with, of course, the elephant in the room here, where some have actually questioned the style of governance of the current governor, saying it doesn't carry people along. He makes decisions, unanimously. Is pretty much a private person, and some have even said with some elements of intimidation. What's your reaction?
Thank you, Dapo, for having me. Sincerely, Governor Aiyedatiwa has only been in the saddle as Governor of Ondo State for less than 14 months, having assumed this position December 27, 2023, after the unfortunate demise of his then born, Lucky Aiyedatiwa. So for 14 months, the governor has committed himself and his administration to those programs, projects, and actions initiated by his predecessors mostly. Even though there have been new ideas, there have been new initiatives, there have been new programs along the line, but majorly the focus of the governor has been completing most of those projects that his predecessors were undertaking before his unfortunate demise. For people who say Aiyedatiwa has not been carrying people along, he operates administration alone, and some of, I think they are not just being fair, and they are mostly people who are pretentious of the Aiyedatiwa that we all know. Governor Aiyedatiwa, for the avoidance of doubt, is not the regular Nigerian politician, judging by his background, from business, his private life. I became deputy governor, and even in the face of the worst of provocation any human being can experience, almost illegally removed as the deputy governor, he has always been a team player, and eventually when he became governor, he did not, operate in isolation like people have, trying to falsely claim. He brought back into that cabinet most of the people whom he has served with under his predecessor. That's why if you look at the cabinet that was recently dissolved, they are mostly made of people who he has worked with while Governor Aiyedatiwa was in the saddle, while he was deputy governor, and also bringing a lot of young, fresh blood into the system. So as far as engagement is concerned, as far as participatory governance is concerned, nobody can take away that from Governor Aiyedatiwa. And that is why he's one governor that today, if you look at most activities of government in Ondo State, there is no day you will not find his deputy, his commissioner, even special advisors, even those supposed to assist special assistants, engaging in one program, representing him in one program or the other. He's not a governor that wants to be in charge of everything. Okay. He's not a governor that wants to be everywhere.
All right. Let's get into specifics. There are definitely challenges that one would expect that he addresses. The scope includes security, for instance, security concerns. There is also the issue of the economy, for residents of the state. We know that the state governments now have, better robust, spending power. So I would like you to be specific, even though we know it's pretty much young administration, tentatively, right? What is in the works to address many of these issues, from infrastructure to healthcare to security to the economy? What is in the works? What should the people of Ondo State hold the government of the day to account, to maybe in the coming weeks?
Thank you. The government of Ondo State, particularly under the administration of Dr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has an obligation, an uncompromising one for that matter, to deliver on the promises it has made to the people of Ondo State. Let me restate this for the purpose of emphasis. Most of what were done between the 14 months that Dr. Aiyedatiwa became governor were his determination to complete the legacy project of his predecessor. We have achieved that to a reasonable extent. But moving forward, the administration is determined to not only expand the infrastructural fortune of Ondo State, but to also develop its people. Governor Aiyedatiwa is not just interested in building roads and bridges. No. We cannot continue to build roads and bridges when you don't also build the people that are going to be beneficiaries of these. That's why the government is going to be it's showing serious commitment rather, not only to infrastructure expansion and development, but to human capacity development. Government will be attracting investment. Like as I speak with you, part of our inauguration activity for the swearing of the governor coming on Monday is the fact that one of the tourism potential and economic lifeline of Ondo State, the seaside, the seashore of Ayetoro, is part of the place where programs have been highlighted to hold. There are a lot of economic potentials. As I speak with you, we have risen from where we used to be in the area of agriculture as a state now to the peak. Now we have industries that are rising almost on a daily basis in Ondo State. I want to invite you to the Ondo village, where production of textile, wood, chemicals, agricultural products are running on a daily basis, courtesy of the support they will be given by the Ondo State Government. So the governor is committed to expanding the opportunities for economic development in Ondo State, not only by government investing alone, but also attracting foreign direct investment to Ondo State. That is on one side. And other sectors too. Education is a priority to this governor, coming from the background as a teacher, and his passion for education. Education is going to be receiving serious attention. Healthcare is going to be, these are the promises that the governor has made ahead of his resumption by the grace of God, come on for a fresh fourth term as the governor of Ondo State. Okay.
Mr. Olufemi Lawson, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll, of course, be delving into specifics as regards the economy and matters arising when it comes to, of course, opposition politics in the state. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us, and of course, this is still Politics HQ on New Central Television. I still have Olufemi Lawson is the Senior Special Assistant to the Ondo State Governor on Public Enlightenment. Thank you for staying with me. Now, let's look at, of course, opposition politics in the state. With they still talking about the fallout of the last concluded elections. How would you, of course, react to some of their allegations and criticisms to your administration?
Well, it is only natural, and I think it's one of the key ingredients of democracy. Any democracy without opposition is not a democracy that is more or less like a family root or the congregation of worshippers like you find in the church or mosque, where you cannot question the pastor or the imam. Ondo State, being a politically ideological state, is known for political opposition. Unfortunately, we do not have the kind of traditional opposition that Ondo State used to witness based on the popularity of the incumbent governor, Dr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa. But opposition have a role to play, and we welcome their criticism, because not only is it going to be of assistance in putting government on its right path, it also helps us in addressing those areas where we may not be doing as much as expected. But what is only, frowned at sometimes is the attempt by opposition element, to misinform the public, to tell lies, and to reel out, information and figures that are untrue. This is not healthy for any society. It's not healthy for any democracy. Criticism, oppositions must be fact-based. They must be issue-based, not petty, issues, not, about the color of shoe or clothes that the governor is wearing at some point or the other, about very frivolous and petty issues that are not even seen on debate platform of secondary school, the children. So for me, we welcome criticism. Opposition politics in Ondo State is not alien, and this government is not opposed in any way to opposition politics or criticism as far as the administration of Governor Aiyedatiwa is concerned.
I mean, talking about criticism of the administration, I mean, there's a case right now where, of course, court grants bail to an Ondo-based lawyer who, of course, was arrested and arraigned for criticizing the governor, on social media, that's on Facebook particularly. I mean, you say that the current administration tolerates criticism, but we are seeing a lawyer here who is being picked up, for speaking out, on the government of the day, even though he was taken to court and all. Does this reflect such?
Let me say this with all sense of responsibility tonight, that the matter involving Mr. Wale Odushola has nothing whatsoever to do with the direct involvement of the governor. It is a known fact that in any government circle, there are people who work with the governor, who work for government, who tries to impress the governor and the government at some point or the other. But I can tell you categorically that the case involving Mr. Wale Odushola has nothing to do with the governor, and that is why the government of Ondo State came out openly, if you read it yesterday, to categorically dissociate the governor from that action of the police, and that the governor did not only do that, he also ordered that the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Ondo State should take over the case from the Commissioner of Police. From my personal experience and from who I've known Mr. Governor to be, there have been people who have even directly insulted and abused him, his family in the past, where he doesn't have any issue with that. He would tell you that from the day you took responsibility to come into a public position, you have already opened yourself up for abuses and insults. So if you look at the government statement yesterday, I think it's enough to clarify that the governor is not involved in this. He does not have any axe to grind with Mr. Wale Odushola or anybody. The governor is a product of criticism, and he will continue to be criticized, not only by politicians, but even by other citizens of Ondo State. And like we have said on so many occasions, Ondo State will not criminalize free speech at any time.